Can I ask what your title topic at the conference is? Like, what's the working title? I'm sure you'll change it.
I think I am going to change it, but it's essentially the quarterly conversation is your best employee retention strategy.
Okay. That's cool.
And so just, what people make it so complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really about building relationships.
Totally.
And we also have this issue where, as just in society in general right now, there's so much othering, the okay boomer or these damn millennials or things like that, where we're just kind of putting people in putting a label on them and saying that, us versus them. And I don't understand that. And it's so counterproductive to, actually managing people well. And if people would just understand that this is really about building a relationship, and if that you can just get comfortable having some uncomfortable conversations, but that will get you to the next place.
Yeah.
It's
so we are, it's not quarterlies right now in our quarterly conversations, that's past, but one of the things recently we were looking at, isn't a plug for the book, but I just wrote a book. So it was a plug for the book, but it's called Right Seats for Right People, and there's a change in the wording here on purpose. Like, define the seat first. Right. What does success look like? Why are you even hiring this person? And don't think about the seat as in today. Like, I need this thing filled today only. Think about what the next 3 years would look like for somebody in that seat. Not saying that here are the promotion. I'm not saying cater to a generation that just wants a title change. I'm saying how are you going to develop this person so with the rate of the organization? Most companies who have some kind of a business system that they're working on or a vision is like, what does the company look like in 3 years' time? Like, where will we be in 3 years' time? So what does that look like for the people in your company in 3 years' time then? If your business looks like this, then what does it look like for them? Because they can, we want everyone to be dialed into the vision of the 3-year picture. I get it. But how you dial them in is show them where they're going to be in this 3-year picture. And so one of the things recently I just was talking with our senior team was, I think we were starting with our senior leaders. Everyone needs to know what the next 3 years look like for them from growth and compensation.
Right.
And it's kind of like, this is like, we're not going to, HR kind of like, we're not going to, these aren't job offers for the next 3 years, are they? I'm like, no, but let's paint a picture, what the 3-year picture looks like for them as an individual. And so we did, started and said, okay, here's what your comp is this year. Here's what it'll look like next year. Here's what, over the next 3 years, if we hit all of our targets and grow, that's what it would look like for you. And here's how you'll be developed. And we want to invest in you here. And here are some things that we think you need to work on. Is that a good even exchange? And here's what performance looks like over the next 3 years. And wow, it was so amazingly impactful. And it's going to be running through our whole organization in the coming months that everyone knows. Because the reality is we use this same principle to recruit people. We say, come and join our organization and we'll grow you.
Right.
And we actually show what the 3-year looks like in a career path and compensation now. Most companies don't have that. So it's very hard to counter offer. It just becomes throw money at to fix a problem when they don't leave for more money. They're actually leaving for career growth and development. So we've systematized that 3-year picture, 3-year comp, 3-year retention, and it shows in our engagement and retention of our people. And it's just amazing. So I wholeheartedly agree that quarterly conversation needs to have a very clear component of what's in it for them.
Totally.
And what's in it for others. Right. So they get to see what they're a part, and I say what's in it for others. I mean the giving and generosity. We're going to do this together because we're going to compensate you well and fairly to do the job that you're doing. Here's what performance and development looks like, and here's what we get to do together, which it feels great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that just a lot of the research that I've done in. Gallup came out with a survey recently about why people are leaving organizations. Yep. And one of the biggest things, besides a company not having a clear purpose, is because they don't know where they're going in that organization. Nobody's even talked to them about what their career looks like. And so, you've got, just to be a decent human, you need to be talking to your people about what does it look like? And one of the exercises that I often do with my teams that I've been doing EOS with for a while is that 3-year picture accountability chart. Yeah. And then really looking at those leadership team seats and just saying, okay, right now you're doing a lot of this stuff, and a lot of the roles that are in your seat are about making the product, delivering the service, whatever. But when we grow this company to, $300 million, you're actually not going to be doing anything. It's like that. It's going to be managing people. How do you feel about that?
Yes, totally.
And really getting them to see like, oh, right. Yeah. So you have to grow with the organization, because the leadership team that got you here typically isn't the one that's going to get you there, unless you have conversations along the way and develop your people.
And develop them, yeah.
Right.
And I think one of the big ones that came just in this past couple of weeks for us was there were particular roles in seats in the organization where we had to say, this is a sales role. Like, where's my career grind? You're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep paying you loads of money, and we want to invest in you to develop you. But it's not just necessarily managing and leading people. That's not your thing.
Right.